case you're about to see is fictional, but the procedure is authentic. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the general public.
Is your name Stephen Prentice?
Yes.
Stephen Prentice, on this indictment you stand charged with causing grievous bodily harm with intent, contrary to Section 18 of the Offences Against the Person Act 1861. The particulars are that on February the 9th, 1980, you caused grievous bodily harm to Donald Michael Rose with intent to do him grievous bodily harm by assaulting him. To this indictment, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words from the card.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your full name Donald Michael Rose, and do you live at 20 Rossendale Avenue, Fulchester?
Yes.
Mr. Rose, on the afternoon of February the 9th of last year, where were you?
I was playing football in Victoria Park.
Between which teams was the game being played?
Fulchester Olympic versus the Old Alfredians.
These being two of the teams in the local amateur league.
Yeah.
On which side did you play?
Fulchester Olympic. I was their striker.
He used to be centre forward, didn't he?
Yes, that's right, my lord.
It's all right, Mrs. Merritt.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Rose, for the benefit of those members of the jury with a limited knowledge of football, would you please explain what a centre forward does?
He's an attacking player and he's there to score goals.
And what special qualities and skills are required?
Speed on the turn, strength, heading ability, ability to take a knock.
Now, in this particular match on February the 9th, were many goals scored?
No, it was 0-0 until about 10 minutes before the final whistle.
And in these 10 minutes, did an incident occur in which you were involved?
Yes, it did.
Would you please describe the incident to the court?
Well, for about a quarter of an hour, play had been mostly in our half of the field. Everybody was pretty fed up. What with there being no score, and it was a rotten day anyway, foggy and freezing cold. Then one of their wingers muffed a pass and the ball landed slap bang at my feet, so I thought, right, here goes, liven things up a bit, and I set off dribbling upfield as fast as my little legs would carry me. I was right out on my own. There was no one in support. I beat two of their players, so by the time I reached the penalty area, there was no one between me and the goalkeeper. Suddenly, one of their defenders is breathing down my neck. He's a couple of steps behind me and a bit to one side. I broke my stride in order to shoot.
And now, at this stage, did you know who the defending player was?
No, but I soon found out. Just inside the penalty area was this patch of ice, a puddle which had frozen over. I stepped on it and wham!
You slipped on the ice?
I fell, head first, and sort of sideways on, so I landed face up looking at the fellow who'd been chasing me.
What did he do?
He kicked me in the head. Just here.
What kind of kick was it, Mr. Rose?
The painful kind. Very hard and very vicious. I felt as if my head had exploded.
Now, as far as you could see, was the kick an unsuccessful attempt to reach the ball?
No, more like a successful attempt to put me in a wheelchair.
So you're saying that the kick appeared to be deliberately aimed at your head in order to injure you?
Yes.
Is the person who kicked you in court today?
Yes. That's him over there.
The accused, Stephen Prentice?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Rose, when you were kicked, did you lose consciousness?
I believe I did for a second or two, yeah. But then I picked myself up and went on playing. I felt very dazed. And then on the Sunday, I started having these blackouts.
And on the following Monday, what did you do?
I went to the doctor, and when I told him what had happened, he referred me to the hospital for an x-ray.
And later the same day, you were x-rayed at Fulchester General Hospital, were you not?
Yeah.
As a result of which you discovered you had sustained a fractured skull. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How old are you, Mr. Rose?
34.
Now, prior to your injury, did you participate in sports other than football?
Yeah, I played tennis in the summer, water skiing, badminton, golf, went jogging every morning, if you call that a sport.
Do you still pursue these activities?
No.
Why is that?
Well, anything the least bit energetic, and I get these terrific migraines. My doctors told me to take it easy.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Rose?
I own 5 shops that sell electrical goods.
Known collectively as Don Rose Electrics, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And before your injury, were you a rising and respected member of the business community here in Fulchester?
I like to think so, yeah.
What's the situation now? Has the incident affected your professional life as well?
Yes. Yes, disastrously. For a start off, my memory's become very faulty and unreliable. I can't remember names and faces at all. I've lost confidence, which makes me depressed, which makes my memory even worse. It's a vicious spiral.
And before this injury, what were your plans for Don Rose Electrics?
I wanted to expand. In fact, that very same month of February, I was going to take the option on premises in the High Street and open a kind of cut-price electrical supermarket. Well, of course, all that's gone by the board now. In fact, I'm thinking of selling up altogether. I'm considering a couple of offers at the moment.
So would it be fair to say that the effects of this incident have gravely damaged your private and professional life?
Yes.
Could we turn now to your relationship with Stephen Prentice, the defendant? Were you personally acquainted with him prior to this incident? Mr. Rose? Mr. Rose?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what was that?
Mr. Rose, do you feel ill?
No, I'm all right.
Would you prefer to give your evidence sitting down?
No, thank you. No.
All right, Mrs. Merritt.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Rose, had you been personally acquainted with the defendant?
Yes. Yes, in fact, I'd known Steve since we were kids. We were at school together.
And in 1969, did you enter into a business association with him?
Yes, Steve had come into some money, a small legacy, and we bought a scruffy old junk shop, selling all kinds of things. The idea was that I should work there full-time and Steve should help out at weekends and during the school holidays.
The accused then having qualified as a teacher, is that right?
That's right, yeah. That was only a lark to begin with. I bought odd consignments of this and that. Cheap electric kettles, alarm clocks made in Formosa. But they sold well. One thing led to another, and the following spring, I suggested that Steve should quit teaching altogether and we could open a second shop specialising in goods of a better quality.
How did he react to this suggestion?
He refused. He thought it was all too risky. And besides, he didn't want to spend the rest of his life buying and selling. He said he thought it was sordid, or some rubbish like that. So I bought him out. I agreed to give him what he'd put into it in the first place, 3,000 or so. It was all perfectly amicable. At least, that's how it seemed at the time.
Now, did the accused ever indicate to you that he regretted his original decision?
Yeah, a couple of years later, when he saw how well I was doing, he asked me if he could change his mind.
How many times did he approach you?
Twice in 1973 and once in 1974.
And what was your response?
I told him that when I opened a new branch, he could work behind the counter for a month or two, learn how to deal with the general public, learn about the electrical trade, and then when he knew the ropes, I would promote him to manager.
So you told him that he could become an employee but not a partner?
Exactly. Look, I'd had 3 years of biting my fingernails, worrying over money, working 14, 16 hours a day, while he'd been enjoying nice long holidays and a big fat cheque at the end of every month. Now, I'd taken all the chances, and I was taking all the profit.
Did Mr. Prentice accept your not unreasonable offer?
No, he didn't. In fact, at the last meeting, he lost his temper and threw a drink over my shirt. We didn't see each other again after that, except when there was a soccer fixture.
Did he ever speak to you or greet you on the football field?
Never.
Was it your impression, therefore, that he considered you to be, in a word, his enemy?
Definitely.
Now, apart from business matters, Mr. Rose, was there another reason Mr. Prentice might have particular feelings about you?
Yes. In 1970, I married a girl called Martine Hanley. She was Steve's ex-fiancée.
Now, you had 2 children by this marriage, which ended in divorce on December the 20th, 1979. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, 2 days after your divorce hearing, did Fulchester Olympic play the old Alfredians at King Alfred's College, Fulchester?
Yes.
Would you please tell the court what happened at the end of that match?
Yeah, as I came off the pitch, I fell into conversation with one of the masters at the college. He was a rather garrulous individual, so by the time I got back to the changing room, it looked as if everybody had gone. I popped into the shower, went over to my clothes and started to get dressed. And I noticed a piece of paper sticking out of the top pocket of my blazer. It was a cutting from the local press about my divorce. There was nothing else. No indication of who'd put it there. It was very creepy finding it like that. It was dark in there, and I noticed Steve sitting in the corner. I said to him something like, "Oh, it's you. Thanks for the fan mail."
Did he say anything?
No, he didn't. He just jumped up, came over to me, grabbed me by the tie just below the knot, twisted it round and pushed me up against the wall.
Did you make any attempt to defend yourself?
No, I mean, he seemed so crazy. I thought the slightest wrong move and he'd strangle me. Then he spat in my face, turned on his heel and walked out.
Mr. Rose, when was your divorce decree made absolute?
About 6 weeks later. It was February the 1st.
In other words, just 9 days before the match in which the accused made the assault with which he is being charged here today.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
So, Mr. Rose, you began taking Miss Hanley out while she was still engaged to Mr. Prentice?
Yeah. Well, all's fair in love and war, as they say.
Did you lure her away from her fiancé?
No. No, she left Mr. Prentice for exactly the same reason that she married me. Because she wanted to.
When you married Miss Hanley in 1970, Mr. Prentice was a guest at your wedding reception, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Didn't he give you and Mrs. Rose an expensive wedding gift and also make a speech?
Might have done.
Well, does this strike you as behaviour typical of a deeply disappointed, broken-hearted suitor?
Oh, I think he was just determined to put a bold face on it.
When Mr. Prentice met you in 1973 and 1974 to discuss a renewed involvement with your firm, where did these meetings take place?
At my place. At my home.
I see. Now, between 1970 and 1975, when your first child was born, Mrs. Rose was employed by Don Rose Electrics, was she not?
Yeah, as my secretary.
Did she work at the office or at home?
Both.
Were you at that stage happily married?
Very happily, yes.
So, 3 years after your wedding, Mr. Prentice proposes joining a firm which would entail daily contact with yourself and your wife. And yet, a full 7 years later, in 1980, my client is so consumed with jealousy over your marriage and anger over your divorce that he spits in your face and kicks you in the head. Is that what you're asking this court to believe, Mr. Rose?
It happened. What more can I say? It happened.
When Mr. Prentice threw this drink over your shirt, were there any witnesses present?
No, we were alone in the house. Normally Marty, my wife, would have been there, but I think she'd just started pottery classes.
Did you show her the shirt when she returned?
No, she was pregnant with our first child at the time, and I didn't want to upset her.
It was at that third meeting in 1974 that you told Mr. Prentice you were prepared to accept him as a business partner after all, wasn't it?
No.
The reason being that you were then desperate for capital to open a new shop. And this time it was Mr. Prentice's turn to refuse, wasn't it?
That's complete rubbish. Where'd you get that from?
On December the 22nd, 1979, at King Alfred's College, in the alleged encounter between yourself and Mr. Prentice in the changing room, there were no witnesses present, I suppose?
Well, he'd hardly do a thing like that in front of a crowd of people now, would he?
Did you show the press cutting to anybody afterwards?
No, I must have dropped it in the scuffle. I looked for it, but I couldn't find it again.
You then proceeded to the Old Boys Club?
Yeah.
Where, as was customary after a match, tables were pushed together and some dozen or so members of both teams sat and drank together from 5:30 until approximately 10 o'clock that evening, didn't they?
Yes.
You all sang songs and the atmosphere became convivial.
Yeah, well, it always does after those matches.
And one of those you sat drinking with was Mr. Prentice. The same Mr. Prentice who you say, a mere 2 hours before, had spat in your face and assaulted you.
Look, I wasn't going to miss a sing-song because of him. Anyway, we were at opposite ends of the room.
Now, as we know, this sing-song took place a mere 2 days after your wife was granted a decree nisi. Did Mrs. Rose make allegations at your divorce hearing concerning acts of physical cruelty on your part?
Yes. Yes, she did.
Did you contest these allegations?
No. But not because they were true.
Well,
look, I'd seen too much of that sort of thing when various friends of ours had got divorced. Cross-petitioning, arguments over every stick of furniture. If she wanted to get divorced, she could have a divorce, but I wouldn't argue over the details.
Mr. Rose, is it not true that around the period of your divorce you felt a deep sense of guilt at having married Mr. Prentice's fiancée only to make a dismal failure of that marriage?
No.
So guilty, in fact, that you came to believe, quite mistakenly, that my client bore you a grudge.
He hated me. He still does.
I want to turn now to the events of February the 9th of last year. You have already told the court that you entered the penalty area at speed.
Yes, I did.
Then you broke your stride in order to shoot at the goal, but you put your foot down on a puddle of ice and pitched forward head first. Is that what you said?
That's what I said, yeah.
Which foot was it landed on the ice, the left or the right?
Must have been the left.
Must have been. Can you not remember?
Well, it would have been. I mean, it was all over in a second.
Yes. Now, when you broke your stride, presumably you slowed down.
Well, I would have done, yeah.
Well, did you or didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Now, as I dare say any child can tell you, when you are running on ice and slow down suddenly, your feet slip forward and the rest of your body falls backwards, doesn't it?
Sometimes, yeah.
No, not sometimes, Mr. Rose, invariably. So why did you fall head first?
I don't know, it just happened that way.
You were certainly seen to fall head first, and the reason you did so was that you'd been tripped, hadn't you?
No.
And the person who tripped you while attempting to tackle you for possession of the ball was Mr. Prentice, wasn't it?
Absolutely not.
Well, can you explain then why, in the dressing room after the match, a cut was discovered on your ankle with a smear of fresh blood on it?
Look, you get cuts on your ankles all the way through a game. It could have happened at any point.
At which point?
Well, I can't remember exactly. A lot of the match is a bit of a blur.
Because of your injury?
I suppose so, yeah.
Yet the particular cause of your concussion you remember with perfect clarity.
Yes, why not? I mean, the memory's a funny thing.
Certainly is, Mr. Rose. Now, you've already described how you fell, and I quote you, head first, sideways on. Do you mean by that you fell not face forward, but with your head somehow tilted or wrenched to one side?
Yeah.
To which side did it tilt, the left or the right?
Look, I know what you're going to say, that I fell over and knocked myself out. But I saw him kick me. I actually saw him with my own eyes.
Your head tilted to the right, did it not?
Yes, the right.
And your left temple hit the ground with some force, did it not?
No.
And you can say that quite categorically, can you, in spite of the fact that you fell heavily and awkwardly and at speed?
Yes.
You see, Mr. Rose, it is possible that you really believe you saw what you say you saw. But I want to put to you Mr. Prentice's version of events, and I want you to consider very seriously whether it may not be the correct one. You enter the penalty area at speed. You are tackled, and as you fall, you hit your head against the frozen pitch. You are confused, you're in pain, and you believe quite mistakenly that Mr. Prentice hates you and bears a grudge against you. And the very last thing you see before you black out is Mr. Prentice's boot. Now, I ask you, Mr. Rose, is this not by far the likeliest explanation of what occurred on the afternoon of February the 9th?
No, definitely not. He kicked me. I'm absolutely certain of it.
Mr. Squires, as referee of the football match in question, would you please describe to the jury the incident which led to Donald Rose's injury?
Yes, I'll be very happy to. Well, it was the most outrageous and flagrant foul I've ever had to deal with in my 15 years as a football referee. Mind you, the way those professionals carry on, it's hardly surprising that the amateurs follow suit, is it?
Mr. Squires, I'm sure we're all very grateful for your opinion, but
What?
I wonder if we could confine ourselves just for the moment to this particular incident.
Yes. I do apologise, but it only took a second, and I want to make it quite clear that I was right on top of it when it happened. I mean, when he was kicked, when Don Rose was kicked.
Mr. Squires, I'm already confused, and I'm sure the jury are too. Mrs. Merritt, could you try and take this witness through his evidence point by point?
Yes, I am trying to do my best, my lord.
Yes, I know. Try and get him to do a little better, will you?
Yes, indeed, my lord. Mr. Squires, would you please answer the questions as briefly as you can and address your answers not only to me but to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes, certainly.
Now, in the last 10 minutes of the match in question, did you see Mr. Rose run towards the old Alfredian penalty area with the ball?
I did, madam.
And as he began to run, did you also run forward in order to maintain contact with play?
I did.
When Mr. Rose reached the penalty area, did you see him fall forward?
Yes, madam, I did.
Now, please answer this very carefully. Did he fall as a result of slipping on something, or did another player trip him up?
Yes. Now, here I must be honest and say I'm not completely certain about that. You see, he was running shoulder to shoulder with the Alfredian number 2. On the other hand, there was a lot of ice
Well,
about.
never mind, Mr. Squires. At any rate, Mr. Rose fell over.
Yeah.
What did you then see?
The defending player kicked him in the head quite deliberately.
Is that player in court today?
Yes, madam. Him.
The defendant, Stephen Prentice.
Stephen Prentice, the Alfredian fullback.
Did you call a halt to the game at this point?
Well, of course. It was an absolutely blatant foul for a start, and on top of that it was a brutal and dangerous assault upon another player. I won't tolerate that sort of behaviour in one of my matches.
Did you examine Mr. Rose?
Yes. The trainer and I checked him over. It was obvious he'd have a sore head the next day, but there was very little bleeding. I asked Don if he wanted to continue playing, and he nodded. Well, I was satisfied then that, well, he was just feeling a little bit the worse for wear. Well, what more could I have done? I'm no doctor.
Did you then order the accused to leave the pitch?
I did, madam.
How did he react?
Did he object?
Object? He went completely berserk, shook his fist, shouted.
Well, what did he shout?
Abuse, threats, the whole works. Effing this and bloody that. A couple of the players took his side. Total chaos. Well, they called me a cross-eyed geriatric. Oh, yes, I got a mouthful, I can promise you.
It's all right, thank you, Mr. Squires. All right, Mrs. Merritt.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Squires, did the accused, in fact, take his protests a stage further?
Indeed he did. He took off his boot and waved it in my face. Then he seized hold of my referee's whistle, gave a sharp blast in it, and said something like, I should blank well push this down your blank throat. And after all that, what did the AFA do? Give him a £20 fine and a 28-day suspension. 28 days. If I had my way, I'd have him banned for life.
Mr. Squires,
I only
please.
hope that this court isn't going to be so soft, because it's hooligans like him who are wrecking the game.
Mr. Squires!
Yeah, it's all the fault of those professionals. They started it. If I had my way, I'd have them all flogged in public, in front of their own so-called fans, too.
The case of the Queen against Prentice will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. The case you're about to see is fictional, but the procedure is authentic. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the general public. Stephen Prentice is accused of causing grievous bodily harm to Don Rose during an amateur football match. Yesterday, Don Rose gave his version of the incident, and the referee gave evidence which supported the allegations. But after an outburst from him, the judge adjourned the case in order to discuss a point of law. The case is now in its second day.
Members of the jury, after much deliberation, I've decided, and learned counsel agree, that we shall carry on with this trial. But I want to make one thing quite clear. It is customary for sporting and professional bodies to uphold their standards of conduct by means of inquiries and disciplinary committees, but they are not courts of law. They're not called upon to decide whether someone has committed a criminal offence. They don't hear the same evidence. They don't demand the same strict proof required in a court of law. It is your task to examine the evidence placed before you. and to decide on the basis of that evidence alone whether the accused is guilty or not guilty. You must not allow the conclusions of a disciplinary committee to prejudice you in any way. Is that clear? Mr. Lawton, do you wish to cross-examine the referee, William Squires?
Indeed I do, my lord.
I shall recall the witness. Now, Mr. Squires, hooligans and people who can't control themselves are as unwelcome in a court of law as they are on a football field. Your outburst yesterday has caused a great deal of trouble and inconvenience. Do you understand?
Yes, my lord, I'm humbly sorry. I don't know what came over
No,
me.
neither do I, Mr. Squires. But rest assured, if it comes over you again, you will be severely dealt with. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I must remind you are still on oath.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Lawton.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Squires, among local amateur football teams, you're generally known as Puffing Billy, aren't you?
I have heard that nickname used once or twice, yes.
Is that because you blow your referee's whistle a lot?
No more than is necessary, sir.
But you are renowned for having a reputation for being dogmatic and authoritarian when it comes to enforcing the rules of the game, aren't you?
Well, that is what the referee is there for, to provide authority. I mean, if we all stood around airing our opinions, we'd never be finished, would we?
I see. Now, Mr. Squires, the match between Fulchester Olympic and the old Alfredians was played in very severe weather conditions, wasn't it?
Yes, indeed it was, yes.
It was foggy, there was a hard frost.
Yes.
And what state was the pitch in?
Again, pretty dreadful. A lot of ice about. Some you could see and some you couldn't see.
The kind known as black ice?
Black ice, yes, especially in both penalty areas. They always take quite a beating, you know.
Were there, in addition, patches of rutted mud frozen hard in the penalty areas?
Not just the penalty areas, they were all over the place.
But was the pitch, in your view, positively dangerous?
No. No, not if the players used their common sense and made allowances. After inspecting the pitch, both captains and myself agreed the match should go ahead after proper warnings to the players. Otherwise, it would throw out the remaining fixtures in the season.
So when Mr. Rose ran at speed into the Alfredian penalty area, he was surely playing in a reckless and foolhardy manner, was he not?
No, sir, he was taking his chances. If you don't take chances, you don't score your goals.
Now, we come to the question of the sighting you had of the incident. And with your lordship's permission, I'd like to reenact the sequence of events by means of a physical demonstration.
Oh, is that really necessary, Mr. Lawton?
Well, it would be helpful, my lord.
Oh, very well. Not too physical, I hope.
No, indeed, my lord.
We don't want any more broken bones.
No, it will all be in very slow motion. Might I borrow the court usher to assist me?
Oh. Are you willing to be borrowed, Mrs. Smart, for our action replay? Yes. All right, Mr. Lawton.
My lord, I'm extremely grateful. Mr. Squires, how far away from Mr. Rose were you when he fell?
I was exactly 10 yards behind him, sir.
I see. Well, would this be more or less right?
Yes, that is it. Yes, that's it indeed. Yes.
Would you come over here, please? Now, in our reenactment, Mrs. Smart will represent Mr. Rose and I shall represent the accused. Now, I want you to tell Mrs. Smart to stop turning when she is at the correct angle to you in terms of the moment Mr. Rose fell. Would you start turning, please? Slowly.
Stop.
Now, from which angle did Mr. Prentice approach Mr. Rose?
They were running almost side by side.
What, like this?
Yes.
Now, at this point, my client will say he attempted a sliding tackle, and Mr. Rose falls forward. Would you mind? Now, is the usher still at the correct angle?
No, sir. As I recall, Don Rose had begun to roll over onto his back.
Or on his left side?
Yes, so that, yes, he lay on his left side, and his face was turning more and more to the right. That's it exactly.
Now, my client lashes out for the ball with his left foot or his right foot?
His left foot.
His left foot. And he kicks at the side of Mr. Rose's head at a point just above the left ear. Like that, Mr. Squires?
Yes, that is right.
Now, are you satisfied as to the general accuracy of this demonstration?
Yes.
Will you walk over here then, please? You will observe, Mr. Squires, that at no time does my foot come in contact with the head. Thank you very much indeed, Mrs. Smart. I'm most grateful. You can return to the witness box, Mr. Squires.
Mr. Lawton, can the usher be released from any further gymnastic demonstrations during this trial?
Oh, yes, indeed, my lord. One final point, Mr. Squires. Have you been referee at a number of games over the years in which Mr. Prentice has played?
Yes, indeed, sir. Many.
And prior to February the 9th, has his conduct on the field ever been anything but courteous and sportsmanlike?
No, it hadn't. On and off the field, he was a real gentleman. Which, if I may say, makes his behaviour in February all the more shocking.
Dr. Goldie, as Mr. Rose's general practitioner, having examined his injury, what did you do?
I took the only course open to me. I telephoned for an ambulance. I suspected he'd sustained a fracture to the skull, and I feared subsequent brain damage.
And that same day, Monday, the 11th of February, was Mr. Rose admitted to Fulchester General Hospital for X-rays and tests?
Yes.
Where he was kept under observation for 5 days and discharged on Saturday, the 16th of February?
I believe so, yes.
And in the following week, did you receive a medical report from Mr. McAndrew, neurologist at Fulchester General Hospital, which dealt in detail with Mr. Rose's head injury?
I did, yes.
Can Dr. Goldie be handed the report, please? Dated the 15th of February, 1980, and signed by Mr. McAndrew. Is this the report you received, Dr. Goldie?
It is.
Would you be kind enough to read aloud the concluding sentence?
Certainly. Formation of both hairline fracture and subdural hematoma suggests that the injury was probably caused by a sharp blow from a football boot or similar.
Thank you. Now, has Mr. Rose been continuously under treatment by you since his discharge from hospital 9 months ago?
He has.
In layman's language, what have you been treating him for?
Well, it's rather a mixed bag, I'm afraid. Headaches, vertigo, absent-mindedness, and memory loss, feelings of depression and anxiety, a general malaise.
Is it your opinion that the kind of injury Mr. Rose sustained could lead to the symptoms he describes?
Oh, yes, there can't be much doubt of that.
What effects are such symptoms likely to have on his career?
Well, they're bound to be a serious handicap, obviously.
So his injury was a serious one, with serious consequences?
Yes, indeed it was.
Thank you, Dr. Goldie.
Dr. Goldie, when Mr. McAndrew said the injury was probably caused by a sharp blow from a football boot or similar, this doesn't really bring us very near to identifying the object which actually struck Mr. Rose's head, does it?
No, frankly. All he means is that a football boot can't be ruled out.
What if Mr. Rose's head had landed on a hard-packed rut of frozen mud, say, or a stone buried just beneath the surface of the soil? Could either of these produce an identical injury?
A rut. Well, that depends on the rut. It's not impossible, but it seems unlikely to me. As for a stone, well, yes, that might do it. The fact is, we can never be certain what caused the injury. A forensic examination of the boot would be useful. If we'd found blood on it or some of Mr. Rose's hairs, then we'd have conclusive proof, wouldn't we? But all we're talking about now is the balance of probabilities.
Had Mr. Rose consulted you at any time in the 6 months prior to February in respect of stress or anxiety or depression?
My lord, I really fail to see the relevance of the question. Moreover, Dr. Goldie is being asked to break a professional confidence.
Yes, why do you want to put this question, Mr. Lawton?
My lord, my learned friend was earlier at some pains to convey the impression of a cheerful and contented individual who became depressed as a direct result of his injury. In fact, in February, Mr. Rose had recently been divorced, so it seems not unreasonable to suspect he may well have been depressed for some time before the incident. It all goes to put in doubt the apparent consequences of the injury.
Yes, Mrs. Merritt, perhaps Mr. Rose would be willing to waive his right to confidence. That would enable us to proceed without trampling on any of the rules of medical etiquette.
Thank you, my lord. My lord, Mr. Rose is perfectly content for Dr. Goldie to answer any questions.
Will you put your question again, Mr. Lawton?
Yes, my lord. I'm most obliged. In the months prior to February, Dr. Goldie, had Mr. Rose consulted you for any kind of mental or psychological disorder?
Yes.
For what kind of disorder had you been treating him?
For both depression and an anxiety state.
Was Mr. Rose under continuing treatment on February the 9th for his anxiety and depression?
He was.
Did the treatment include the taking of tranquilizers and antidepressant drugs?
Yes, yes it did.
Mr. Harper, on the evening of February the 2nd, 1980, did you visit a pub called the Peacock's Feathers in Lisle Lane, Fulchester?
Yes.
The Peacock's Feathers being a pub frequented by both you and the accused, Stephen Prentice, is that so?
Yeah, once or twice a week.
Was he there on this occasion?
He was, yes.
In what condition was he?
He was drunk. He was dead drunk.
Had you ever seen him as drunk as this before?
No, never.
What was his general mood, Mr. Harper? Was he talkative, in high spirits?
Oh, no. Very down in the dumps he was. At first I couldn't get a word out of him.
And then later, did he become more talkative?
Yeah. One of us brought up the subject of Don Rose and his divorce. Can't recall who mentioned it first. I made a joke about Marty. That's Don Rose's ex. Then Steve said, I was engaged to her once, or we were supposed to get married once, something along those lines. Then he mentioned something about the football match, where he and Don would be playing the following weekend.
Now, what precisely did he say?
He made two fists, like this. And he sort of clenched his teeth as if he was angry. And he said, so help me, one day I'm going to fix that bastard.
By the word fix, did you think he meant physical assault?
Oh, yeah.
And when he said that bastard, did you form the impression that he was referring to Mr. Rose?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Harper.
Mr. Harper, when Mr. Prentice made the remark you've just quoted, he didn't say exactly where or when the threat would be carried out, did he?
No.
And even although the football match had just been mentioned, he used the expression one day. What do you think he meant by that?
Well, I don't know.
At that time, were you also acquainted with Mr. Rose?
Yeah, sure. Everybody knows Don. I'm a van driver, see, and I'd done some deliveries for him from time to time.
Well, why did you not contact Mr. Rose and warn him of the danger he was supposedly in?
Well, it may seem funny like, but to tell you the honest truth, I forgot all about it.
You forgot?
Yeah. Of course, a couple of weeks later, when I heard Don had been nobbled, I remembered then, and yeah, sure, I wish I had told him. Might have saved him a lot of bother.
But at the time, you clearly didn't take the remark very seriously, did you?
No, that's true.
Had you ever heard other people, under the influence of alcohol, utter vague and silly threats?
Yeah, of course I have, yeah.
And as far as you were concerned, Mr. Prentice's remark fell very much into that category, didn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it did, really. He seemed serious enough, though.
Well, before that evening, had you ever heard the accused make any kind of comment which led you to believe he thought ill of Mr. Rose?
No, I hadn't, as it happens.
Thank you, Mr. Harper.
Do you wish to re-examine, Mrs. Merritt?
No, thank you, my lord.
You may leave the witness box, Mr. Harper.
My lord, that is the case for the prosecution.
So, Mr. Prentice, when you and Mr. Rose entered the penalty area, about how fast were you running?
Too fast.
Too fast? What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, before the match started, both the captains had asked the players to take it easy in view of the ice on the pitch. However, once Mr. Rose had started his run, I had no choice but to chase him.
On reaching the penalty area, did Mr. Rose break his stride in order to shoot at the goal?
Yes, and as he did so, I caught up with him. It was then I attempted to try a sliding tackle.
Now, will you tell the jury exactly what a sliding tackle is?
Yes, you slide your foot in front of the player and attempt to rob him of the ball. It's a last-ditch measure, really.
Did it succeed?
No, it all went wrong. In the excitement, I'd forgotten about the churned-up state of the pitch, particularly around the penalty area. One of my feet got stuck in a rut, and I'm afraid that Mr. Rose tripped over it. I saw the ball was running loose, so I lashed out with my foot to stop it going into the net.
Did your foot, at any time, come into contact with Mr. Rose's head?
No.
When the referee, Mr. Squires, ordered you off the field, did you lose your temper and shout at him?
Yes, I'm afraid I did. Not because he'd awarded a foul, but because he was adamant that I'd kicked Don, which I knew I hadn't.
Did you take off your football boot and wave it in his face?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Well, by this time I could see that Don had got to his feet, and I could see that he was bleeding a little bit from the head. So I took off my boot and I held it up to Mr. Squires, the referee, waved it in front of his face like this, and said, "Go on, can you see any blood on it?" Which, of course, I knew there couldn't have been.
But the referee refused to examine the boot?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Prentice, you're now a schoolmaster, indeed deputy headmaster, at King Alfred School, am I right?
Yes, I am.
What subjects do you teach?
I'm head of the physical education department. I also teach some history.
In the year 1973, did you twice approach Mr. Rose about the possibility of rejoining the business which you'd helped to found?
Yes, I did.
Did you approach him a third time, a year later, in 1974?
No. On the third occasion, Don approached me. But by that time, I'd settled into teaching, was thoroughly enjoying it, and I realized that teaching sport was going to be my life. It was all rather unfortunate, actually, because when Don offered me a partnership on my original terms, he thought that I'd refuse it out of spite. Don Rose was correct when he said a drink was thrown over a shirt that evening, but it was his drink, and it was my shirt.
Had you been upset when Miss Hanley broke off your engagement and married Mr. Rose instead?
Yes, I was winded for a couple of months, but we were never really suited.
How did you feel when you heard that Mr. Rose and his wife were getting divorced?
I was very upset.
Were you aware that Mrs. Rose's grounds for divorce included physical ill-treatment?
Yes, I was.
And how did you feel about that?
At first I couldn't believe it, and then I felt sorry for them. They seemed to me to be ideally suited, very happy, two beautiful children. Yes, I was very shocked.
Were you then still in love with Mrs. Rose?
No.
In December 1979, did you, in the changing room at King Alfred's College, leave a press cutting relating to the divorce in Mr. Rose's blazer pocket?
No.
Did you push him up against a wall and spit in his face?
No. How could I have done? I was already on the way back to the old boys' club with the rest of the team.
Now, finally, Mr. Prentice, I want to deal with the evidence given by Mr. Harper. On the evening he encountered you in the Peacock's Feathers, were you drunk?
Yes, I was.
He describes you as being unusually melancholy that evening. Why was that?
Well, for a start, it had been a particularly difficult week at school. There'd been a flu virus going around, and there was a quarter of the staff were off with it. This meant that the rest of us had to teach and prepare extra lessons, so I was staying up to 1 or 2 in the morning, all week. Come Saturday, I was pretty shattered. Anyway, I'd arranged to meet this girl in the Peacock about 7:30. I didn't know her particularly well, but I liked her. And when I got there, she'd stood me up. So I decided to get drunk instead.
In the course of your conversation with Mr. Harper, did you mention Mr. Rose and his divorce?
I might have done. But Harry Harper gave the impression that that was all we talked about, which is simply not true. We must have talked about 100 topics that evening. Don Rose was just one of them.
Did you utter the words, "So help me, one day I'm going to fix that bastard"?
I really can't remember, but if I did, I didn't mean it. I mean, I was too drunk to walk straight, let alone talk sensibly or rationally.
So you say the remark, "if you uttered it at all," should be construed as just a rather inane, immature threat uttered by someone the worse for alcohol, is that right?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Prentice.
Why have you never married, Mr. Prentice?
What kind of question's that?
It's a perfectly straight question, and I'd be grateful for a straight answer.
Well,
You never have married, have you?
no.
Why?
Well, just at the moment, I'm quite happy living alone.
Really?
Yes.
Yet in February of last year, we find you getting drunk because a girl you hardly know fails to turn up.
I thought I'd made it clear that that was just one of the reasons.
Was another of the reasons the fact that you had written Mrs. Rose a letter tantamount to a love letter to which she had failed to reply?
A love letter? What do you mean?
A letter dated January the 3rd, 1980, and signed, "Ever yours, Steve."
My lord, I really must object. This is fresh evidence, which has apparently been in the hands of the prosecution all the time. No notice of it has been served on me or those instructing me, and there is no explanation as to how it came into the hands of the prosecution.
Mrs. Merritt?
My lord, the letter was submitted to us after the trial began. It seems appropriate to use it in cross-examination to challenge the accused's denial that he still holds any particular affection for Mrs. Rose.
I don't see why it shouldn't be admissible. Let's get on, shall we?
Can the letter please be handed to the accused? Thank you. That is your handwriting, isn't it, Mr. Prentice?
Yes.
I request an adjournment, my lord.
Yes, certainly, Mr. Lawton.
All stand.
The case of the Queen against Prentice will be resumed in the Crown Court tomorrow, when the jury will return their verdict. The case you're about to see is a fictional one, but the procedure is authentic. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the general public, who will retire at the end of the trial to reach their own unrehearsed verdict. Stephen Prentice stands accused of causing grievous bodily harm to Don Rose during an amateur football match. Yesterday, during cross-examination, Stephen Prentice was handed the letter he'd written to Don Rose's wife a month before the match took place. Today, cross-examination continues.
116 Lyle Street, Fulchester, January 3rd, 1980. Dear Marty, what's been happening to you is just awful. I can't get it out of my mind. All the rows and battles there must have been between you. He always had a sadistic streak, and I suppose it's got worse over the years. You should be very careful when the divorce decree becomes absolute next month. It might stir up more violence. Quite honestly, I wouldn't put anything past him. I know I mean nothing to you, but you're always in my thoughts and prayers.
Excuse me, could you help me, please?
And the letter concludes, if there's anything you need, money, any kind of help or protection, let me know. I won't get difficult or ask the impossible in return. That I can promise completely. Ever yours, Steve.
That is not a love letter.
Oh, come, Mr. Prentice. I know I mean nothing to you, but you're always in my thoughts and prayers. What was Mrs. Rose meant to understand by that?
All the letter said was that Marty shouldn't feel that she'd nobody to turn to. The letter doesn't mention the word love once.
Mr. Prentice, this is a letter from a man to a recently divorced woman with 2 small children. A woman, moreover, to whom he had once been very attached. You're not denying that, are you?
No.
And in these rather delicate circumstances, don't such phrases like, "you're always in my thoughts and prayers," say one thing loud and clear, that you're still in love with her?
Look, I hadn't seen Marty for a long time, but I still regarded her as a friend. I wanted to help her if she needed help. But I didn't want to give her the impression I was trying to start something up again. I mean, if I'd known that letter had been stolen and used in court to incriminate me, then I might have expressed myself more carefully.
I put it to you, Mr. Prentice, that the letter merely confirms the fact that when Mr. Rose married your ex-fiancée, your life was shattered and you never got over it, did you?
Yes, I did.
And in the years that followed, Mr. Rose became successful and prosperous. But then came the divorce. And that was the last straw for you, wasn't it?
Look, I've already said the divorce upset me. Of course it did. But not to the extent that you're implying.
And when you said to Mr. Harper that one day you'd fix that bastard, it wasn't just an idle, drunken threat at all. It was the absolute truth, wasn't it?
No.
Mr. Prentice, we know that by this time the only place you met regularly was on the football field, playing for opposing teams.
Yes.
So I suggest that it was the football field that indeed you had in mind when you spoke of fixing Mr. Rose. And I further suggest that when only 1 week later Mr. Rose fell at your feet with no other player close by, the chance to settle an old score was irresistible, and so you lashed out with your boot with a full intent of causing painful, debilitating and lasting injury. Now, isn't that the simple truth of the matter?
I didn't kick him. Look, I swear it.
Mr. Lofting, were you one of the 2 linesmen at the football match played between Fulchester Olympic and the Old Alfredians on February the 9th of last year?
Yes.
In the last 10 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, hello. My name's James Allen. Mr. Prentice is solicitor. Oh. How do you do?
How do you do?
We've only got a few minutes. Shall we talk over here?
Yes, okay.
And as they entered the penalty area together, did Mr. Rose fall?
He did, and very nastily with it. Almighty thump as his head hit the ground.
You heard it distinctly, did you, this thump?
I'll say. Horrible sound. A real toe curler.
Did he slip, or did the accused trip him?
I can't say for certain. It may even have been a bit of both, but fall he did.
Did Mr. Prentice then kick him in the head?
Emphatically, categorically, no. No and no.
Now, will you tell the jury, Mr. Lofting, what enables you to deny it so emphatically?
Well, this is the point that chaps like Don and Billy Squires ignore. Probably because they've no answer to it. I'm Don Rose, and I'm heading hard and straight for the Alfredian goal. I've got no time for fancy footwork. The only thing I can do, being a right-footed player, is push the ball forward with my right foot. So I and the ball are making a beeline for the net.
And you saw the ball heading straight for the goal mouth, did you?
Yes. Now, when I, Don Rose, fall over, I lose control of the ball, don't I? So, why didn't it roll straight into the welcoming arms of the goalkeeper? Why did it cross the goal line so far from the net? Because it was deflected.
And you saw the ball so deflected?
I certainly did. Now, the person who did this deflecting isn't our friend Don Rose, who by this time is lying flat on his back, seeing a broad cross-section of the Milky Way. It could have been nobody but Steve. There was nobody else there. Now, if he did this, he certainly didn't have time to do that. Namely, give Don a kick in the head.
When the ball ran over the goal line, did you raise your flag for a corner kick?
Yeah, because Steve Prentice had been the last player to touch the ball.
And were you overruled by the referee?
I was. And if I'd been the referee, I wouldn't even have awarded a foul, let alone send poor Steve Prentice off the field.
Thank you, Mr. Lofting.
Mr. Lofting, did you have a conversation with Mr. Squires at half-time when you discussed the foggy conditions and the general state of the pitch?
Yes.
And during the course of that conversation, did you say that you needed a pair of windscreen wipers for your spectacles because they kept steaming up?
That was a joke, for heaven's sake. I'm always being accused of expressing myself a little picturesquely.
I see. Now, at the moment that Mr. Rose fell, Mr. Squires was 10 yards behind both players. How far away were you?
25 yards, maybe.
Twice the distance, or rather more, in other words.
Yes, but I was dead level with the players involved.
Did you see the exact moment when Mr. Prentice's foot came in contact with the ball?
No, as I explained earlier, Mr. Rose was between me and Mr. Prentice.
Are you saying that your view of the accused's foot was obscured by the body of Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Then your assertion that Mr. Prentice caused the ball to deflect was based on something that you inferred and not something you saw, isn't it?
Well...
Isn't it, Mr. Lofting?
No.
Mr. Lofting, were you or were you not in a position to witness the moment of contact between the defendant's football boot and the ball?
No, I wasn't.
Thank you, Mr. Lofting.
Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your full name Ian Robert Shelbourne, and do you live at Greenmount, Ashley Road, Fulchester?
Yes.
Mr. Shelbourne, you are headmaster of King Alfred's College, Fulchester, are you not?
Yes.
Am I right in saying that last year you were awarded the Order of the British Empire for services to education?
I was, yes.
How long have you known the accused?
I've known Stephen for 10 years, ever since he returned to teach at King Alfred's.
Mr. Prentice was originally chosen by you from among 90 candidates who applied for the post of schoolmaster, wasn't he?
I was on the selection panel, yes.
Have you at any point and for any reason had cause to regret your original choice?
Not once. He's an excellent sportsman, a first-class all-round teacher, and one of the most reliable and conscientious members of my staff.
And indeed, he became deputy headmaster at the relatively early age of 32, did he not?
Yes.
How has he shaped up to his new responsibilities?
Well, he's been quite splendid. Plenty of energy, plenty of ideas, marvellous in committee. He listens, you see, and so few people really listen, in my experience. He'll make a fine headmaster himself one day.
Has the accused, to your knowledge, ever displayed irritability or anger to the boys or other members of staff?
Never.
Have there ever been complaints from the boys or their parents that the accused has lost his temper and struck a boy?
Again, never.
Do you believe he would be capable of behaving in a violent and unsporting manner on the football field?
It's unthinkable. Stephen has no time for violence either on or off the field. As a coach, whether cricket, rugby or soccer, he has always taught the boys what is so patently true of himself, namely that coolness on the field of play is not only good sportsmanship, it also pays dividends in terms of results.
Thank you, Mr. Shelbourne.
I have no questions for this witness, my lord.
Oh, right, thank
You may stand down, Mr. Shelbourne.
My lord, another witness to the incident has unexpectedly arrived. Might I ask for a short adjournment?
A witness for the defence, Mr. Lawton?
Well, yes, my lord, I believe so.
Oh, very well. We shall reassemble in 15 minutes.
All stand. Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words from the card.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Is your full name Martine Eleanor Rose, and do you live at number 8 Sandycroft, Fulchester?
Yes.
Mrs. Rose, on February the 9th, 1980, were you a witness to the incident in which your ex-husband, Donald Rose, received an injury to the head during a game of football at Victoria Park?
Yes.
Will you tell the jury why it has taken you so long to come forward and give evidence?
Well, yes. I didn't want to have any further contact with my ex-husband, Don. Nothing. We'd had a wretched time of it for the 2 years leading up to the divorce, and, well, I just wanted to put the past behind me and forget all about it. But then when I heard that Steve, Mr. Prentice, might be found guilty of something I knew he hadn't done, then I just felt that I had to come here and... well,
your feeling that justice should be done has overcome your reluctance. Is that what you're trying to say?
yes, exactly.
And so in order that the truth might be established, You're prepared to relate your account of the incident, which is directly at variance with that of Mr. Rose, I understand.
Yes, Mr. Lawton, you're putting words in the mouth of this witness. Let Mrs. Rose tell her own story in her own way.
My apologies, my lord. Mrs. Rose, what were you doing at approximately 4:15 on the afternoon of Saturday, the 9th of February last year?
Well, I was driving from my home to my mother's flat. That is, the children and I, we visit my mother every Saturday for our tea.
Your children being the two children of your marriage, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
How old are they, Mrs. Rose?
Lucy's 3 and Ben's 5.
And does the route from Sandy Croft to your mother's flat take you past Victoria Park?
Yes, that's right. We were rather late. We were due at my mother's about 4, you see. And what with the fog and the ice on the roads, we were driving rather slowly. And as we passed the park, Ben shouted, "Oh, look, there's Daddy playing football."
He actually saw his father, did he?
Well, I don't think he meant it literally, no. It's just that Fulchester Olympic wear very bright, distinctive colours, you know, green and orange.
And he naturally assumed that his father would be playing in the team.
Oh, yes. Well, then they both started kicking up a fuss, you know, and wanting to stop and get out.
And did you stop?
Yes, I did. I said they could get out for a few minutes and watch. Well, I didn't really want to, you see, because we were already late, and my mother's got this thing about punctuality. But, well, you know what kids are like. So, I parked the car on the other side of the road, and then we all got out.
Now, from where you stood, Mrs. Rose, did you have a good view of the pitch?
Well, quite good. Of the closest half, anyway. I couldn't make much out of the far end because of the fog, you see. And, we were standing behind the goal, a little to one side, and in front of us was the high chain-linked fence. Well, they put that up a few years ago to stop the ball flying into the road.
Yes. Now, how far behind the goal is the fence?
About 20 feet, I'd say.
Now, as you and your children watched, did you see Mr. Rose run towards you with the ball?
Yes, I did.
Did you see the accused challenge him for the ball?
Yes. Well, Steve seemed to swerve into Don, and then Don fell over. Then Steve kicked the ball away to one side, the side where we were all standing.
Now, did you, throughout this manoeuvre, maintain an unimpeded view of the legs and feet of both players?
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, Mrs. Rose, I'm sure you appreciate the gravity of the allegations made against Mr. Prentice. You are quite certain, are you, that he kicked the ball, not Mr. Rose's head?
Yes, quite certain.
Did you see your former husband get back to his feet?
I did, yes. Well, after that, complete pandemonium broke out, and everybody started shouting at everybody, and Steve was shouting, and the referee was pointing. I've never seen anything like it. But then when I saw that Don was all right, or at least he looked all right, I shooed the kids back into the car, and then we drove off.
Now, Mrs. Rose, I'd like to take advantage of your presence here by asking you finally about your relationship with the accused.
Relationship? There is no relationship with the accused.
Have you met him or been in any kind of communication with him whatsoever since your divorce?
No, I haven't.
Did you receive from Mr. Prentice any kind of letter during the period of your divorce?
No.
You did not receive any letter?
No, I certainly did not.
Thank you, Mrs. Rose.
Can I clarify one point, Mrs. Rose? You say that you have not received a letter from the defendant since your divorce.
That's right, yes.
Thank you. Do you always wear your hair long like that?
Yes. Yes, I do. Why?
Please just answer my questions. Now, you said earlier that your husband and you had had a wretched time of it in the years leading up to your divorce.
Yes, that's right.
Prior to that, was your marriage a reasonably happy one?
Well, it was fine, really, until Lucy was born.
Did you take an active interest in your husband's business affairs?
I was his secretary for some time, yes.
Did you ever go and watch him play football on a Saturday afternoon?
I did sometimes, yes.
Were you acquainted with other members of the Fulchester Olympic team?
Well, I knew a few of them.
Approximately how many? Would you say more or less than half the team?
Well, more than half.
And naturally, you were aware that Victoria Park is where Fulchester Olympic plays all its home matches every other week.
Yes, of course.
Now, at 4:15, or thereabouts, on February the 9th, you say that you were driving from your house to your mother's flat past Victoria Park, where you saw a football match in progress.
Yes.
And your son shouted, "There's Daddy playing football," and whereupon they insisted that you stop the car so that you could all get out and watch.
Yes.
So clearly they were keen to see their father.
Well, they were keen to see him play football.
But they weren't particularly keen to see him. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
How long was it since they'd last seen their father, Mrs. Rose?
Well, it was about 3 months, I'd say.
3 months? Yet every Saturday you and the children drove past a park where there was a 50-50 chance that Fulchester Olympic might be playing at home.
No, sometimes we drove that way, and sometimes we didn't.
Oh, really, Mrs. Rose? Was that in order to prevent your children from seeing their father?
Possibly, yes. That was in the back of my mind.
I mean, had they, for instance, on previous Saturdays demanded that you stop the car so that they could get out and watch?
No.
Why do you think they were so insisted on this particular occasion?
You're getting me muddled. Look, it's perfectly simple, really. You see, sometimes we went by the park, and sometimes we went by another road. Probably that was the first time there'd been a match on when we'd actually driven past.
But you see, Mrs. Rose, if on previous Saturdays you had sometimes avoided this route because Mr. Rose might be playing football, why did you, on this particular occasion, when you were late for tea with your mother, you tell us, being a stickler for punctuality, why did you choose the very route that was likely to cause the kind of delay that you say occurred?
I didn't choose it. We were there by complete accident.
Oh, I see. Now, since it was such a bitterly cold day and you were in a hurry, why did you all get out of the car?
Well, so that the children could get a better view. As I recall, the windows were all misted up.
Yet, despite this mist, your son appears to have seen the orange and green shirts of the Fulchester Olympic team.
Yes, he did.
Very well, so the three of you stood at the chain link fence with the car just behind you.
Yes.
What is the make and colour of your car?
It's a red Cortina.
Were you also wearing the somewhat vivid coat that you're wearing today?
No, I wasn't wearing a coat. Some cars have heaters, you know.
Were your children wearing coats?
No.
So you allowed your children, aged 5 and 3, to get out of a warm car and stand in the freezing cold for upwards of 5 minutes?
Yes.
Very well, Mrs. Rose. Now, visible from the football field would have been the following: a red Cortina car, 2 small children, and a striking-looking woman with long, dark hair. Would you agree?
No, I wouldn't. We weren't that visible because of the fence, you see.
Clearly not, because not one single person noticed your presence, did they?
Not to my knowledge, no. But we were all there just the same.
Did your children shout encouragement to their father as he ran towards the goal?
Well, I can't remember.
Did they or you shout or scream as Mr. Rose fell?
Yes, they were very upset.
And when he got to his feet again, did they call out to ask if he was all right?
Well, it wouldn't have mattered if they had. They wouldn't have been heard for all the commotion that was going on.
And in the midst of this commotion, you shooed your children back into the car and drove off to have tea. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, what else was I supposed to do?
Why are you telling all these lies, Mrs. Rose?
I'm not...
Is it to save your ex-fiancé? Or is it to spite your ex-husband? I suggest it is either one or the other, or both, isn't it?
No, and I'm not telling lies. It's true. Every word of it.
And finally, members of the jury, there is the nature of the game to consider. Sometimes collisions lead to accidents, and these accidents can be serious. But such are the risks of the game, and injuries sustained in this way must be considered accidents. So, if you consider that Mr. Rose's injuries were entirely accidental, then you will find the accused not guilty. If, however, you decide the prosecution have proved beyond reasonable doubt that the accused caused Donald Rose really serious harm by kicking him in the head, assaulting him deliberately, or recklessly, not caring whether Mr. Rose was seriously injured or not, then you must find the accused guilty of the charge. But if you consider that he deliberately kicked Rose, but did not intend to cause really serious harm, then you may return a lesser verdict of assault occasioning actual bodily harm. Will you please retire? Elect a foreman to speak for you and consider your verdict.
Foreman, just answer the question I ask you, yes or no. Members of the jury, have you reached a verdict on which you're all agreed?
Yes.
On this indictment, do you find the accused guilty, not guilty, or not guilty of the offence charged, but guilty of assault occasioning actual bodily harm?
Not guilty.
And that is the verdict of you all?
It is.
Stephen Prentice, you are free to leave this court.